right, let's go. Super Bowl LIX, what a game. We're going deep on the Eagles' victory, the Chiefs' upset, and everything in between.
Yeah, it was a wild one for sure. Definitely a game for the history books.
We've got game recaps, insights into Coach Sirianni, and even some reactions from players and fans to break down.
We'll be looking at the key moments, the narratives, and what this means for both teams moving forward. A real deep dive.
So let's just jump right in. Starting with the game, the Eagles, they were unbelievable. They were dominant on both sides of the ball right from the start.
It was like they just flipped a switch, They were firing on all cylinders. And the Chiefs, they just seemed a little, well, off.
Yeah, it's not often you see Mahomes throw multiple interceptions in a game, especially on a stage like that.
The Eagles' defense had a lot to do with that. They were relentless.
And the crazy thing is they never even blitzed once.
I know, right? That's almost unheard of, especially in a Super Bowl. But their defensive line was just that good.
Guys like Josh Sweat and Zach Bowen were saying they could feel the momentum shifting early on. They knew they had the Chiefs on their heels.
By halftime, it was 24-0, and you could just tell the Chiefs were struggling to find an answer.
And then there's Jalen Hurts. Talk about a Super Bowl MVP performance.
He was incredible, rushing records, passing efficiency, the poise, the leadership, everything you could ask for.
It's his first Super Bowl win, and he's only 26. It really makes you wonder what's next for this guy.
The sky's the limit, honestly. He's got the talent, the work ethic, and now the experience of winning it all.
He had this great quote after the game, something about focusing on all the effort and all the work that got him to that moment.
Yeah, he seems like a very grounded guy, Not letting the hype get to him, just focused on the process.
Definitely a champion's mindset. And speaking of journeys, we've got to talk about Coach Nick Sirianni.
Oh, yeah. What a story, huh? From being on the hot seat early in the season to leading his team to a Super Bowl victory. Talk about a redemption arc.
Remember, this is the same guy who was practically begging fans not to boo him after some of those early losses. The pressure in Philly is intense.
And the memory of that last Super Bowl loss, it must have weighed on him. But he stuck with it. He trusted his process, and the team rallied around him.
There's this quote where he talks about how the team stuck to their process and got better every week, despite all the criticism.
And they did get better, winning 16 of their last 17 games. That's an insane turnaround.
And you can't overlook his coaching in the Super Bowl itself, especially going up against Andy Reid. That's a legend.
Yeah, outcoaching Andy Reid on the biggest stage, that's got to give you some serious confidence moving forward. It'll be interesting to see how he builds on this success.
So that brings us to the Chiefs. This loss, it's got everybody wondering, is this the end of their dynasty?
It's a tough question. They've been the team to beat for so long. But this loss, it might be a turning point.
Even Mahomes admitted after the game that those early turnovers, they really swung the momentum.
Yeah, he took responsibility for the loss, which shows a lot of character. But you have to wonder, can they bounce back from this?
And then there's Travis Kelce. Is he retiring? Is he staying?
Yeah.
Mahomes seemed pretty optimistic that he'll be back.
It's hard to imagine the Chiefs without Kelce, right?
Yeah.
He's such a vital part of their offense. But he's got to be thinking about his future.
He's given everything to the game, and he's already achieved legendary status. It's really up to him at this point.
It's a tough decision, for sure. But whatever he decides, he's earned the right to choose his own path. It really makes you think, doesn't it, about how momentum can shift in those big games.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Those early interceptions, they seem to just take the wind out of the Chiefs' sails. You can almost feel it.
And on the flip side, it gave the Eagles this incredible boost, like they suddenly realized, hey, we can win this thing.
And they never really let up. Think about their defense. They were in Mahomes' face all night.
It was like they had figured out the code, they knew exactly how to disrupt him.
It's crazy because, like we were saying, they didn't even need to blitz. Usually teams are sending extra guys to try to rattle them, but the Eagles just shut them down with their front four.
It was a clinic, honestly. And then you've got Jalen Hurts making plays on offense, both in the air and on the ground.
He was so elusive, picking up those crucial first downs with his legs. Yeah. And that rushing record, come on. He made history in the Super Bowl.
He really did. It's not just about the yards, though. It's about the impact those runs had on the game. They kept the Chiefs' defense off balance, and it opened up things for the passing game, too.
Speaking of which, we got to give some love to that Eagles offensive line. They were like a wall out there.
Absolutely. They gave Hurts all the time he needed to make those throws and kept the pressure off him. Can't win championships without a great O-line.
Truth. And, that whole game felt like this clash of Coaching style, Sirianni versus Reed.
Yeah, the young gun against the veteran, the up-and-comer against the legend. And in the end, Sirianni came out on top.
It's kind of poetic, isn't it? From the hot seat to Super Bowl champ, all in one season. It just shows you anything's possible.
That's the beauty of sports, right? The unpredictability. It keeps us all on the edge of our seats. But back to Sirianni, I mean, the guy's a master strategist. He adapted his game plan perfectly to exploit the Chiefs' weaknesses.
And to do that against Andy Reid, who's basically a coaching icon, that's huge. It definitely solidifies his place as one of the top coaches in the league, and it makes you wonder what's next for him in this Eagles team.
Yeah, they've got a bright future, that's for sure. But staying on top, that's the real challenge.
Especially in the NFL, where everything changes so quickly.
It's a whole new set of pressures and expectations now. How they handle that, well, that'll be the real test of Sirianni's leadership. But let's shift gears for a second, talk about the Chiefs. This loss, it has to sting.
I mean, they've been the gold standard for so long, consistently in the playoffs, Super Bowl contenders year after year.
It makes you wonder if this is the start of a decline or just a bump in the road.
Are they going to regroup, make some changes, and come back even stronger?
Or is this the beginning of the end for their dynasty?
Only time will tell, I guess.
Mm.
But, even with the loss, Mahomes showed flashes of his brilliance.
Oh, absolutely. He's still an incredible talent. But even the greats have their off days.
And you know what? Even after the game, he took full responsibility. He didn't make excuses, didn't blame anyone else. He owned it.
That says a lot about his character, you know? It shows he's a leader and that he's not afraid to face adversity head on.
Now the question is, how does the rest of the team respond? Do they rally around him and use this loss as fuel?
Or will they start to crumble under the pressure? That's what we'll be watching for in the next season.
But hey, even in a loss, there were still some pretty amazing moments.
Right. The Super Bowl always delivers.
I mean, that halftime show with Kendrick Lamar and SCA, that was epic.
Oh, yeah. The energy was through the roof. You could feel it even through the TV.
And all the celebs in the stands, like Taylor Swift cheering on Travis Kelce.
Yeah. It's always fun to see who shows up for the big game.
And let's not forget that Gatorade bath on Sirianni with 2 minutes still left on the clock.
Talk about a statement, right? They were celebrating before the game was even officially over. They were that confident.
That's the kind of swagger that comes with knowing you've dominated. It was a powerful image.
It really captured the emotion of the moment, the joy, the relief, and the pure exhilaration of achieving their ultimate goal.
And for the Eagles, it's been quite a journey.
Oh, absolutely. From those early season doubts to the calls for Sirianni's firing.
Yeah, 2-2 start, remember? Nobody would have predicted this.
And yet they turned it all around. They found a way to overcome adversity and become a truly dominant force.
It's a testament to their resilience, their belief in themselves, and their willingness to embrace the underdog role.
They proved that even when the odds are stacked against you, you can still achieve greatness if you stick together and believe in your vision.
And that's a powerful message, no matter what team you're rooting for.
It's a story that, a lot of people can relate to. Facing those challenges, the doubts, and finding a way to push through.
Exactly. It's about more than just football. It's about that human spirit, the drive to succeed, to overcome. And the Eagles, they embodied that.
For sure. And for Jalen Hurts, this is a huge moment. He's had a share of critics, people questioning his abilities, but he just kept working, kept proving them wrong.
Now he's got a Super Bowl ring and an MVP trophy to silence those doubters.
It's pretty remarkable when you think about it. And how about Nick Sirianni, huh? From the brink of getting fired to hoisting the Lombardi trophy.
Yeah, what a turnaround. Talk about a storybook ending.
It's like something out of a movie. But it also shows you that sometimes you have to go through the fire to come out stronger on the other side.
He never gave up on his vision, on his team. And that belief, it's spread throughout the organization. You could see it in the way they played.
Absolutely. It's a testament to his leadership and to the power of having a shared belief in something bigger than yourself. But, while the Eagles are celebrating, the Chiefs are facing a whole different set of questions.
Yeah, this loss, it has to make them take a hard look in the mirror.
They've been at the top for so long, it's almost like they were invincible. But this shows they're not.
And now the big question is How do they respond?
Can they adapt? Can they evolve? Can Mahomes regain that MVP form?
Or is this the beginning of the end for their dynasty?
Those are questions only time can answer. But one thing's for sure, the NFL landscape might be shifting.
And that's what makes it so exciting, right? You never know what's going to happen next.
Exactly. We saw new stars emerge like Jalen Hurts, and we saw a dynasty potentially facing its twilight. It was a Super Bowl full of drama, excitement, and those unforgettable moments that we'll be talking about for years to come.
Well said. And as we wrap up our deep dive into Super Bowl LIX, I'm left with this feeling of, I don't know, hope. Like anything is possible if you set your mind to it and work hard enough.
I get that. We saw that with the Eagles. They were the underdogs. They were doubted, but they never lost faith in themselves. And they proved that anything is possible if you have the right mindset, the right team, and the unwavering belief in your ability to achieve greatness.
And that's a message that resonates far beyond the football field.
Absolutely. It's a message that can inspire us all to chase our dreams, no matter how big or how audacious they may seem.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Super Bowl LIX. It was a wild ride.
We hope you enjoyed the analysis, the insights, and the stories.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep believing in the power of human potential. We'll catch you on our next deep dive.